hello, and welcome to a new episode of Release. I'm your host, Adriana, and I am so honored and grateful that you've taken the time to listen to what I have to say. And today, I wanted to say that I miss you guys. I have missed recording so much, but I needed a little break from the podcast and from social media in general because I needed that little time with myself, that little time of pouring into myself. And now I am back and I feel so much better, and every day I am getting better, and every day I am learning how to practice daily proper care and not push myself to the sidelines so that I get to this intense moment of burnout and have to take like a month off. So now that I'm back, of course, I am back with a list. So I just wanted to share some of the lessons, some of the blessings, whatever you want to call it. Some things that August has taught me, and I'm so eager to share with you. So the first thing on my list is every time I become frustrated by someone's lapse in judgment, quote unquote, I remind myself they are being their authentic self. I can't be mad at that. I just have to do the same. And this is something that I have had to really sit with. Because July will be July and August will be August. Sometimes we project our view of someone onto them. Sometimes we look at people and say, oh, why did you do this? I wouldn't do this. Or how could you say this? I would have never. But in reality, they are themselves and they are showing up as their authentic self. And unfortunately, maybe their authentic self is someone that may act a little selfish or may have that lapse in judgment. But your job is not to try to heal them. Your job is not to try to make them better. Your job is to say, okay, you're doing you, I'm going to do me. I'm gonna be my most authentic self, and my most authentic self does not settle for this shit. Like, my most authentic self, the person that I am and the person that I am becoming, is someone that is surrounded by people that love me and care for me. And once you accept that, and once you begin to say, okay, universe, spirit, God, whatever that higher power, whatever name you give to that divine power that you call upon, you say, this no longer serves me. Say it out loud. Saying it out loud is so important. Yes, journal about it. Definitely, I think it's important that before you approach the person and before you actually say those words, because when you say it, right as soon as you feel that feeling, it may be full of so much anger and pain and hurt, and your words may be clouded. And your words may be so charged that what you're trying to get across never gets to them. All they feel is the anger. And writing it down definitely helps. Saying it out loud to yourself definitely helps. You can hear yourself, hear your voice claiming that and saying, I'm stepping out of this. And of course, as I said, July will be July and August will be August. So you may go to that person and say, I no longer feel like this is working for me. And they're going to be themselves, and they may try to convince you to give them a second chance, or they may try to convince you that things are better, they are better, whatever the case may be. But it isn't your job, and it was never your job to negotiate your standards. So now that you've recognized, okay, this doesn't meet my standards, we can move on to something else. And I know that is easier said than done. And I know that it may be hard, especially if it's a relationship, platonic, romantic, that you care about, or someone that you really, truly, deeply have had a relationship with for many years. So although you are letting it go and you're saying, okay, I'm just trying to let it go, maybe you have to take some second steps or third steps. Maybe you have to block them. Maybe you have to say, I'm not going to answer your calls. Maybe it's, whatever the case may be. I don't know the situation, so I can't give examples. But the point is, maybe you have to take other steps to enforce that boundary, because we're always working towards setting stronger and more impenetrable boundaries, because yes, we are supposed to be exploring and trying new things and being adventurous and allowing life to live through us. But it is also very important that we have a place to say, no, this does not work for me. No, this is not aligned with my higher good. And it's no foul. And it's not that you're a bad person or that you're mean. It's just that you have set standards for yourself and you are moving with those standards. Period. Okay. And the third one is actually a quote. I've been reading Be Here Now by Ram Dass. If you don't know who Ram Dass was, rest his soul. He was a lovely spiritual teacher. And this quote really stuck out to me. He says, "To him who has had the experience, no explanation is necessary. To him who has not, none is possible." And for me, this quote really resonates because I have been through some things. I have felt some things. I have experienced some things. And it can be really lonely. The spiritual journey, the journey of self-growth and self-love is a very lonely journey. Or it can be. Not that it is lonely, but you have to do it alone. And sometimes you may have someone who has had like a parallel experience to you. Right? And you may say to them, oh, this has happened to me. And they say, oh my God, this has happened to me too. But it's like a circle and a square. They're both shapes, but they don't have the same experience of existence. And sometimes I find myself getting frustrated and being like, oh my God, like no one understands. Like this is such a desolate place to exist. But in reality, the experience being such, not isolating, I was thinking of isolating, but the experience being a solo journey is also so beautiful and so important, because although we are all humans, we are all these different puzzle pieces in the puzzle, and we're all a part of the puzzle, but we are all different things. We may be going through things at that parallel, but we're walking differently, we're seeing different things, we're existing differently. Like for me, if I go out into nature, I spend a lot of time looking up. I'm taking pictures of the sky, I'm looking at the birds, I'm just looking up because it's so beautiful to exist. But someone else may be in nature and they're looking down on the ground, or they're only on their phone, or whatever the case may be, but we are both in the same situation, but we are experiencing it differently. And there's so much beauty. There's so much beauty, because you stop trying to get people to get you, and you just accept that whatever they understand. And if they don't understand, that's okay, because there are some things in your life or in their life that you won't understand, and that's okay, because it's just a part of life. It's just a part of being. And the next one says, if you try something and it doesn't work, that's okay. There are other opportunities to try again. There are other things to try. Success still exists in the hope of the future. for me, I like to be good at things the first time. I am an Aries. I go into things head first. I like to just go in and just allow myself to work through things. I really like to do that. So when I have to try over and over and over again to do something, I find myself getting ready to give up. I'm so sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. I am outside as I usually am, but I hope it doesn't distract from what I'm saying. But anyway, back to our list. I find that because of that, sometimes I close myself off. I say, oh, well, I'm not good at that. Or, oh, like, I don't know how to do that. But in reality, no one really, like, the things that we do as humans, even if you are an artist, I would call myself a poet, and I have been writing poetry since I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. And although you would say that is a gift, and it has been bestowed upon me, what I wrote at 5 and 6 is not the type of stuff that I write now, so many years later. I had to learn so much about language and words and different literary devices as a way to send my gift out into the world and allow it to evolve. So everything in life is a lesson, and we have so much to learn. And just because you don't get it right the first time doesn't mean you won't get it right the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth. I'm actually learning how to drive right now, and I am old to be someone that is learning to drive, but I've had a fear of driving for quite some time. And I am pushing through it, and for that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my instructor because he is such a lovely person. And I have never really sat in the seat of a car, or not the seat of a car, in the driver's seat of a car and said, okay, I'm gonna control this. Because people don't really drive standard cars anymore. He never really allowed me to drive his car, which is cool, whatever. And driving the car, I felt really nervous at first, and it's a very strange experience because you have to make mistakes in a very public way, and you kind of have to brush it off. You just kind of have to allow it to happen because it's all a learning curve. And my instructor said to me, don't give up. He said, it may be hard right now, but don't give up. And I said to him, I can't give up because my goal here is to learn how to drive. And if I give up, I'll never learn how to drive. So that's not really in my thoughts right now. And I believe that's how we're supposed to be living our lives. I can't give up because this is my life and I've been given this task to live, and I'm going to try and I'm going to grow and I'm going to allow myself to flourish because I am so grateful for the opportunity to be and to try new things. It's such a lovely life that we live, and sometimes we forget it. Sometimes we get so caught up in all of the things that we have to do and that we have to be that we forget that trying and failing is a part of existence. It's just so cool to be alive. Oh my gosh. And the next thing, I guess we can make it like a subsection, a little bullet point of that point. But it says, have the courage to be bad, the courage to fall over, have the courage to be a beginner. The universe knows you're going to fall. They're always there to catch you. They just need you to fall because that's the only way you learn how to progress. Recently, I went rollerblading for the first time. I have never gone before, but they opened this place in my city and I was so excited to try it. And I went on the rink and within 2 seconds I fell. Because the thing about rollerblades is that they don't necessarily have brakes, so you just keep moving and you can't really stop. And of course stopping takes practice. But as soon as I fell, there was a worker that came up right behind me and he was like, okay, this is how you get up. And he was waiting for me to fall because most of the people there had never done it in their lives. You could see that a lot of people were first timers, but they were trying and they were having fun and they were allowing themselves to fall. And in that moment of me being taught to get up, Spirit was like, this is how you are. This is how life is. We are waiting behind you. We are waiting with our arms open to catch you. We are waiting to teach you how to get up. We are waiting to show you the way to be better. But you have to have the courage to be bad. You have to have the courage to be a beginner. You have to have the courage to fall and know that falling is a part of learning. Allow yourself to fall. Because you've fallen so many times. Think of all the things you have done. Maybe not all the things. You can't think of all the things you've done in your life. But think of maybe school. Think about something that you've struggled with. I know a lot of people talk about long division. So think about, maybe not, because some people still don't know how to do it. But think about the first time that you were introduced to math as a child. Maybe it didn't feel intuitive. Or maybe the first time you had to write an essay. Whatever it was, it may have been really, really hard at first. And now you may not be the best person that has ever done it. But now you're better than the first time that you tried, and that is what's important. The progress is important, not being the best. And the next one is a wave's job is just to be a wave. It wasn't created to worry about its height or its strength. It's just a wave. In the same way, we're just people and we're just meant to be. Life is like a river or an ocean, and we should just trust that life and the universe knows what it's doing. Control is an illusion, my loves. I feel like I've said this here before and I say it all the time in my life, but control is an illusion. And we try to control our lives and we try to do what we think is best. And for me, Spirit always puts these little blocks. There's these little stop and yield signs, and I try to push through them. But Spirit is like, no, that's not how this is going to work, my love. This is not what we are going to be doing. And they always keep reminding me that it's not my job to know what the next step is. It is not my job to know what the result is. The other day I was either watching a YouTube video or I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying that when you're driving in the dark and you have your lights on, right? Let's say that you are driving from one province to the other, from one city to the other, from one state to the other. You're driving somewhere long distance, right? And it's dark, and the only light that you have is the light of these headlights, right? And you can only see a certain amount of feet in front of you, but you are trusting that the road still is there. You are trusting that as you drive, as you keep moving, the next step is illuminated. But you can't sit and say, oh, nothing's gonna change, nothing's happening, I'm so bad at this, blah blah blah, and just sit there, because then you are not allowing yourself a chance to move. You are not allowing those headlamps to illuminate the path because you're just sitting in the car in the middle of the road with the lights off saying, oh, there's no road, there's nowhere to go. But if you just turn on the lights, if you just use what Spirit has given you, you will see how doors and gateways just start to open for you, simply because you move and trust that everything that is happening to you will eventually align in the way that is for you and for your highest good. And the next one says, what is there to do but wait for life to happen? It is already happening. Even when there is nothing happening, it is happening. Even when there is silence, life is speaking. Even when there is nothing, life is there in the essence of everything. I feel like sometimes we wait for life to happen. As kids, I know a lot of kids say, I can't wait to be a grown-up, or I can't wait to do this, or whatever the case may be. We always say we can't wait to be in this spot that is not the spot that we are currently in. And it's like, when this thing happens, that's when my life starts. When I step through this door, that's when things are happening for me. But in reality, life is happening right now. And if you think about why that moment is so important, for kids, sometimes it's, oh, I want to be an adult because I want to be free. I want to make my own decisions. And of course, as a child, you may not be able to make your own decisions. But, you know, as you get older and you recognize, like, I wanted to be an adult because I wanted X. I wanted to be free. Now you can show yourself what freedom looks like. So when that time comes, you already know. You already can step into whatever you perceive that role as. You can step into that role confidently and say, yes, I know X. And sometimes you step into the role, quote unquote, the role, like being an adult, and you realize that it actually isn't anything. It isn't what you thought it was. Having expectations for the future really puts us in a box. We should just allow life to be. And right now, as we are just being, we can say, okay, this is life, right? As I look around, this is my life. How do I make it better? How do I allow myself to enjoy this moment? Because if you say, okay, I can't enjoy this moment, but when I get this and when I get that, I can't enjoy it. When you get it, you won't be able to enjoy it, because you haven't learned how to enjoy what has been given to you. Life has been given to you. Are you enjoying life? When you get 20 years down the road, are you going to be able to enjoy that? No, because you haven't been practicing enjoying what you have been given. And the last thing on my list is, you are the only one doubting your light. Everyone else is calling you golden. Everyone else sees how amazing you are. Please stop being the only person holding you back. Stop being the only person that is doubting you, because you deserve more. You deserve to live in a home, your body being your home, your mind being your home, your soul being your home. You deserve to live in a home that is loving and caring and expansive and feels amazing. So please allow yourself to be the best you that you can be. And as you give yourself grace and as you allow yourself to shine, remember, you are golden. You are a light, and you should not dim your light for anyone, including yourself. And yeah, that's all that I have to say today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are staying hydrated. And I love you guys so much. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.